As they walked through a nearby hallway, DeBacco lit a cigar that he had saved for a special occasion, which was made from Cuban tobacco. He spoke. "Even though Ken and Barbie are now husband and wife, until we have evidence to the contrary, I think we can safely guess they will not live a normal suburban lifestyle." We've got a number of clauses in these sentences. This initial dependent clause is a subordinate clause. Starts with that subordinate conjunction as. As they walked through a nearby hallway, DeBacco lit a cigar. When did he light it? As they walked through a nearby hallway. This is an adverbial subordinate clause. DeBacco lit a cigar that he had saved for a special occasion. He had saved, action verb, that, the cigar, for a special occasion. This is a relative clause functioning adjectively, modifying cigar, which was made from Cuban tobacco. Subject was made, action verb, how it was made, from Cuban tobacco. This is also a relative clause, modifying cigar, adjectively. In the next sentence, we open up with the main clause, he, action verb, and then we go into a series of dependent clauses. Even though Ken and Barbie are now husband and wife, until we had evidence to the contrary, I think we can safely guess they will not live a normal suburban lifestyle. Looking at this first dependent clause after he spoke, which is really describing this second main clause within the dialogue, subject, action verb, even though is a double subordinate conjunction, Ken and Barbie, subject, are linking verb, are now, a little adverb right there. Predicate noun. It's modifying why I think, even though Ken and Barbie. So this is difficult to see in this, is going to be adverbial. This next clause, until we have evidence to the contrary, is also subordinate, subject, have, action verb, evidence, direct object. What type of evidence to the contrary? That's also talking about when we'll think until we have evidence to the contrary. So this piece of dialogue opens up with two consecutive subordinate clauses. Both are adverbial, modifying the verb think. I think, what do I think? We can safely guess. Well, what we're missing at the beginning of this dependent clause is that we can safely guess. And we can safely guess what? That they will not live a normal suburban lifestyle. We're missing another that down here. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is take away this clause here. You'll see what I'm doing. We can safely guess, we, subject, can guess, action verb, modifier, adverb, can guess what? This clause here, that they will not live a normal suburban lifestyle, is the direct object of can safely guess. So in fact, if this dependent clause begins at we, it ends outside the very end of the dialogue. We can safely guess what, and then this second clause. Within the second clause, subject will live, action verb with a little trigger here, adverbial trigger, will live a lifestyle, direct object, will live a lifestyle. They will not live what? A normal suburban lifestyle. Now the question is whether these are relative pronouns or subordinate conjunctions at the beginning of these clauses. And I'm going to tell you that they're subordinate conjunctions. The way that I'm going to make that decision if I can't see it is by employing something called Potter's theory. This is named after Phil Potter, who first suggested this to me. Potter's theory says that, well, when you're looking at a clause that has that in it, if you can easily substitute which for that, and if it makes sense within the grammar of the sentence, you almost surely have a relative clause. If you cannot do that, Potter's theorem suggests, if you can't make the switch convincingly, you have a subordinate conjunction. So, I think that we can safely guess. I think which we can safely guess. I think we can safely guess which. I think we can safely guess that. What we've got here is direct object of we can guess something, this word. That pronoun, direct object, makes this a relative clause functioning as a noun, the direct object of think. That's also pointing at what they can guess. What they can guess. This pronoun really refers to the second clause, that they will not live a normal suburban lifestyle. Again, trying to use Potter's theorem, I think that we can safely guess which they will not live a normal suburban lifestyle. That doesn't make sense to me. I think what we have here is a subordinate conjunction. So we've got a subordinate clause functioning as the direct object of guess. Tricky. In this sentence we've got two subordinate clauses functioning adverbially, modifying the action verb think. We have as the immediate direct object of that verb a relative clause functioning as a noun. We have functioning as a direct object within that relative clause, a subordinate clause functioning as noun, the direct object of guess. All of this is subsumed into the relative clause functioning that starts with that we can safely guess. And all of this is a piece of dialogue that functions as the direct object of he spoke. What did he speak? He spoke what? The dialogue itself. Interesting.